Okay, so the next topic is surface tension. Surface tension is a very peculiar phenomena exhibited by some liquids. So if we understand the kinetic theory of matter, then we will be able to understand this phenomena in a better way. So surface tension is a phenomena due to which exposed or free or top surface of a liquid contained in a vessel behaves like a stretched membrane, and this phenomena is known as surface tension. So exposed surface of the liquid, top surface of the liquid, it behaves like a stretched membrane. Stretched membrane means membrane is a layer or a surface. Stretched surface. The surface tension is mainly due to unbalanced cohesive forces acting near the top surface of the liquid as explained under. So they are going to explain the whole phenomena, which will involve some unbalanced cohesive forces where acting near the top surface of liquid. So due to these unbalanced cohesive forces acting near the top surface of liquid, there exists surface tension. Imagine an isolated small cube of mercury in space. A molecule of mercury A shall be pulled by the neighboring molecules equally. So this is the imaginary cube of mercury which we have to imagine it to be in space. Okay, so what happens is the neighboring molecules, the mercury at A shall be pulled by the neighboring molecules equally. So there is one molecule at A, and this molecule at A will be pulled by the neighboring molecules. Suppose these are the neighboring molecules, okay, all around, and they will all pull A in its own direction. Thus, no unbalanced attractive force will act on it and move it in some particular direction. So, will mercury placed at point A, or the molecule of mercury at point A, will it move in any direction? Because it is pulled equally in all the direction, all the opposite directions. It is pulled equally in all the directions. So, will it move in any particular direction? No, it will not move in any direction. So where will it go? It will stay in its same position. This molecule A will stay in its same position. Similarly, most of the molecules of mercury within its main mass will not experience any unbalanced force. So any molecule which is within within the mass of mercury here, not on the boundary but inside, will not experience any force. However, the molecules near the edges, this molecule, these all molecules are near the edges. They will experience an unbalanced force of attraction towards inside. The molecules near the edges will be pulled inwards. Molecules near the edges will be pulled inwards. Why they will be pulled inwards? Because we have studied in kinetic theory of matter that the particles of matter attract each other with intermolecular forces. And here there is no particle, you can say, adjacent to these mercury molecules on the outside. There is nothing on the outside. So there is no force outward. There is no outward force, but there is only inward force, because all the particles, small particles of mercury, are there inside. So the particles present at the edges will be attracted inwards. There will be an inward pull on those particles. However, these molecules will not move inward, as their movement shall be opposed by the inner molecules. So can these molecules actually go inside? No, they cannot go inside, because inside there are already molecules present. So as a result, what will happen is this results in tension in the molecules near the surface. So the surface molecules realign themselves as shown in the figure, such that no unbalanced force act on them. So what happens is they change their shape. The molecules which were forming a square shape earlier, now they realign themselves in a circular shape, because in circular shape or spherical shape, they can actually um, you know have the smallest surface area, so they can realign themselves in a circular shape, and all the unbalanced forces will stop acting on them. In doing so, the liquid takes spherical shape. It is for the same reason when a small drop of mercury is poured on a glass top, it makes shape of a spherical ball on account of surface tension. अभी मैं तुम्हें दिखाता हूँ ये कैसे होता है, ठीक है। अगर एक यहाँ पे हम लोग लिखते हैं mercury on glass, ये तो कुछ और ही आ रहा, mercury drop, yes, look at this, there's so many videos. Okay, let's see this one.
Here's a little info on mercury toxicity. The mercury I am handling in my videos is elemental mercury absorbed by the skin. Any noticeable effects of it. However, I do not recommend that. Inject nicotine or not a mercury salt.
Okay, now see, this mercury will be poured in the hand. See what kind of shape it takes. It takes a spherical shape. It tries to align itself in a spherical shape, even if whatever shape, see, now see the small spherical droplets it gets converted into. So this is due to those unbalanced forces on the molecules which are present on the edges, on the surface. So they try to pull themselves inward, but they cannot go in, so they take a spherical shape, and this phenomena is surface tension. So I hope now you understand what is a surface tension, right? Let's get back to our thing. Okay, so it is for the same reason that when a small drop of mercury is poured on a glass top, it takes a shape of spherical ball on account of surface tension. However, if a similar drop of water is poured on a glass top, it takes an oval shape. So if you put water in your hand, it does not take spherical shape. If you put water in a in a dish, in a glass dish, it does not take a spherical shape. It makes an oval shape, because the force of cohesion, force of attraction between the water molecules is far less than force of adhesion between molecules of water and glass top. So what they are saying is, when you put a drop of water, if a similar drop of water is poured on a glass top, it takes an oval shape. So the question can be asked like this: why does a water drop poured on a glass top makes an oval shape? The answer will be because the force of cohesion between the molecules of water is far less than force of adhesion between the molecules of water and the glass top. So what is cohesion? Now the question comes that what is this cohesion and adhesion? Let me explain you. So by the word cohesion, they mean the attraction between same kinds of molecules or particles. The attraction between same kind of molecules or particles is known as cohesion. And what is adhesion? you might have heard or read this word adhesion. Okay, adhesion means attraction between two dissimilar kinds of molecules or particles. What do you mean by dissimilar? Dissimilar means different. Okay, so let me show you how cohesion and adhesion works. Okay, here you see water and mercury both placed in test tubes. So what happens is the water molecules have more adhesion power. That is, they are more attracted towards different kind of molecules, that is glass molecules. So water will stick at the edges with the glass molecules. At the edges, if you see, the water sticks to the glass. Even if you take some water in your glass, आप ग्लास में जब पानी पीते हो और फिर वो पानी खत्म हो जाता है, फिर भी कुछ ड्रॉप्स ऐसे चिपके हुए दिखते हैं तुम्हें ग्लास के सरफेस के साथ. So you see, generally you see water droplets. Let me show you. Yeah, you see water droplets sticking to the glass like this. Why? Because water has more force of adhesion for glass as compared to mercury. In mercury, you don't see mercury like this sticking to the glass. No, it doesn't happen. It never happens because mercury has no force of adhesion with glass. But mercury, what it does is it sticks to itself. It sticks to itself means it is more attracted to its own kind of molecules. So in mercury, the force of cohesion is more than force of adhesion. But in water, the force of adhesion is more than force of cohesion. That means water prefers to stick with glass surface more than itself. More than it sticks with itself, its own molecules. That's why water has more force of adhesion. But mercury sticks to its own molecules more than it sticks to any other surface. So mercury has more force of cohesion. Now these two words are very clear with you. What is adhesion and cohesion? Okay. Now we'll study about formation of meniscus. So what is a meniscus? Meniscus is a shape which a liquid, free surface of a liquid takes when it is kept in a container. Normally, a liquid contained in a vessel should have flat exposed surface. However, it is observed then when a liquid is poured in a test tube, a narrow tube, its exposed surface is curved, either inward or outward. If any liquid is kept in a test tube and observed, its surface will be curved inward or outward. The formation of this curved surface, please note this is a very important definition. The formation of curved surface by the exposed surface of liquid contained in a narrow vessel is called meniscus. And the formation of meniscus can be explained as under. So let's first look at the formation of meniscus rather than directly understanding the explanation. See, here you can see the meniscus. So here, as you can see, the water is sticking to the glass more than it sticks to itself. That's why the shape of water meniscus is like this. Concave. This shape is known as a concave shape. Concave means curved inward. Okay. So this is curved inward. Okay, and this is bulged outward. Bulged outward. Just a moment, I'm taking some other pencil. Yes. So this is curved inward and this is bulged outward. Bulged पता है ना तुमको? Bulged means बाहर की तरफ फुला हुआ. Curved inward means अंदर की तरफ caved in. ठीक है? Curved inward का दूसरा जो scientific word है that is concave. Okay, and bulged outward has another word which is known as convex. So mercury is, whenever mercury is taken in a test tube, in a thin tube, it shows, its free surface shows a bulge in the outward direction, or a convex curve, or a convex meniscus. But when water is taken in a test tube, it shows a concave meniscus. Why? Because it's likes to stick to the glass more than itself. So this is how and why the meniscus are formed. The formation of meniscus in liquid columns, in liquid taken in test tubes, is due to the force of adhesion or cohesion, which is basically depends on the intermolecular force of attraction. So let's take the explanation of these two meniscus. Let's talk about the convex meniscus first. Sorry. Let's talk about the convex meniscus first. It has been observed that in case of mercury, a convex meniscus is formed. It is because the molecules of mercury have strong force of cohesion, but no force of adhesion with glass. Thus, as the molecules of mercury near the exposed surface are pulled inward, they are acted upon by unbalanced forces. Thus, in order to neutralize these forces, the molecules of mercury near the exposed surface realign themselves and hence takes the convex shape. इसका एक एक सेंटेंस इंपॉर्टेंट है. ये जो पूरा एक्सप्लेनेशन है ना, इसका एक एक सेंटेंस इंपॉर्टेंट है. इसको ब्रेक कर करके याद रखो और समझो, फिर याद रखो, ठीक है? So the first thing what they have said is mercury forms a convex meniscus because molecules of mercury have strong force of cohesion but no force of adhesion with glass. ठीक है, इतना क्लियर है? Thus, as mercury molecules near exposed surface are pulled inward, जब यहाँ पे mercury के exposed surface के molecules को जब अंदर की तरफ एक pull होता है, they are acted upon by unbalanced forces. ठीक है? And in order to neutralize these unbalanced forces, the molecules of mercury near the exposed surface realign themselves and take convex shape. They become spherical in shape. But why there is a concave meniscus in water? It has been observed that most of the liquids such as water, alcohol, etc. form concave meniscus. It is because molecules of these liquid have far stronger force of adhesion with glass and a weak force of cohesion amongst themselves with their own molecules. Thus, as the molecules of these liquid are pulled up the glass, the liquid tends to rise up along the glass surface. Thus, this in turn creates a depression in the middle and thereby forming a concave meniscus. ठीक है, तो ये दोनों एक्सप्लेनेशन तुम्हें बहुत अच्छे से याद करना है, समझना है. पहले समझ तो गए ही होंगे तुम, बट इसको लर्न करके प्रॉपर इसका आंसर लिखना आना चाहिए तुमको. Okay, then explanation of liquid pressure on kinetic model. What is liquid pressure? Actually, it should be called fluid pressure. But okay, we'll study as liquid pressure. The molecules of liquid in a vessel are not stationary, but they move about randomly in all possible directions. So if we take an example, let's draw one small container. So this container is closed, okay, and there are some gas particles inside. So these gas particles will exert force on the walls of the container. They exert force on the walls of the container, and this is known as liquid pressure or fluid pressure. Because I've taken example of gas, so it is known as fluid pressure. Even if there would have been liquid inside this container, they would also exert, liquid molecules would also exert pressure in the similar manner. So the molecules of this fluid or the liquid will strike against the side of the containing vessel and hence exert some specific force. This force exerted per unit area on the sides of the containing vessel is the cause of liquid pressure. Explanation of gas pressure on kinetic model. The molecules of gas contained in a closed vessel are not stationary, same like liquid. but they move about randomly in all possible direction. In doing so, the molecules of gas strikes against the sides of the containing vessel and hence exert some specific force. This force exerted per unit area on the sides of the containing vessel is the cause of gas pressure. Effect of reducing the volume of a gas on pressure in a closed vessel. So imagine a cylinder filled with air and fitted with a meter to record pressure of air and airtight piston. So this is basically a cylinder in which there is air and there is one meter which is measuring the pressure on the air, and there is this piston. Piston is a device which can exert force on this air or gas. Okay, let the volume of the enclosed gas uh, is 20 centimeter cube and pressure is 760 centimeter of mercury as shown in the first figure. Let the gas be compressed by a force F such that the volume decreases to 10 centimeter cube. It is observed that the reading on the pressure meter will be 1520 centimeter of mercury. That means pressure becomes double. The pressure increases. On increasing the pressure, volume decreases, right? From the above discussion, it can be concluded that with the decrease in volume of an enclosed gas, the pressure increases. Why does this happen? When the gas is compressed to its half initial volume, the number of molecules per unit volume of the gas also becomes double. So all the molecules, they come together and they strike the sides of the enclosed vessel with a double amount of force. मतलब यहाँ पे फोर्सेस एक्सर्ट कर रहे थे मॉलिक्यूल्स ये साइड्स पे कंटेनर की, ठीक है, लेकिन जब इसको प्रेशर एक्सर्ट किया और इसका वॉल्यूम हाफ कर दिया तो ये जो फोर्स है ये भी डबल हो गया, ये फोर्स भी डबल हो गया, मतलब अब ज्यादा फोर्स से ये मॉलिक्यूल्स ये कंटेनर को प्रेस कर रहे हैं, तो इनसाइड प्रेशर क्या हो गया, डबल हो गया, ठीक है. As the force acting per unit area on the sides of the containing vessel doubles, so pressure also doubles. Conversely, if the volume of the enclosed gas is doubled, then the number of molecules per unit area, per unit volume will become half. Since half number of molecules are present, then the force exerted by each molecule will also become half. And since the force has become half, the pressure acting will also become half. Therefore, the pressure of enclosed gas will become half if the volume is doubled. So remember one thing, what is this topic? The topic is explanation of liquid and gas pressure on kinetic model. Okay, so simply remember that if you increase the volume, pressure decreases. If you decrease the volume, pressure increases. Very simple. So that was liquid or gas pressure. And there is one more thing, heat conduction on kinetic model. What is conduction? Conduction is transfer of heat. Conduction is transfer of heat. The mode of transmission of heat energy from one atom to other atom in the direction of lower temperature without actual movement of atoms from their mean position is called conduction, and this takes place only in solids. Conduction takes place only in solids because in solids the particles are so tightly packed and they are not allowed to move from their mean position. The particles are extremely tightly packed and they are not allowed to move from their mean position. So they just vibrate about their mean position and they pass the heat in the direction of lower temperature. So this phenomena is known as conduction. Conduction can be explained easily on the basis of kinetic theory of matter. You have to remember this. When a solid is heated from one end in fire, its atoms gain heat energy, and this heat energy increases the kinetic energy of atoms, and hence they vibrate about their mean position more rapidly, more violently, and these energetic atoms strike against the neighboring atoms and transfer a part of kinetic energy to the neighboring atoms. In this way, more and more atoms along the length of the conductor gain kinetic energy by the passing vibrations, and the temperature of the conductor rises and the heat flows from the end which is at higher temperature to the end which is at lower temperature. And this is how the heat is conducted in solids, and we can explain this conduction method on the basis of kinetic theory of matter. Explanation of heat convection on kinetic theory of matter. Now understand that in gases and liquids, the heat is not conducted, but there is a specific process which is known as convection of heat. So heat flows in the form of heat currents, heat waves. How does this happen? So in this method, unlike your method of conduction where the particles were only allowed to vibrate about their mean position, in this convection method, the particles actually leave their position and move when they absorb heat, and they themselves take the heat to the part of the gas or liquid where the temperature is less. So remember, the process of transfer of heat by actual movement of particles is known as convection. तो अगर तुमने लिक्विड को बॉईल होते हुए देखा है तो तुम्हें पता होगा क्या होता है. सो सपोज एक कंटेनर में हमने कुछ लिक्विड लिया है और वो लिक्विड को हम लोग नीचे से हीट कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, इसको नीचे से हीट कर रहे हैं. तो क्या होता है, व्हाट यू सी इज, you see small bubbles rising up. Those are basically air molecules. But you also see like this water currents. ऐसे ऊपर की तरफ वाटर मूव होता हुआ दिखता है. ठीक है, ये जो वाटर करंट है दैट इज नथिंग बट द मॉलिक्यूल्स और द स्ट्रीम्स ऑफ वाटर मॉलिक्यूल्स राइजिंग फ्रॉम bottom towards the top, because at bottom their temperature has increased and they have become lighter, so they actually move upwards, and the particles who are in the upward positions, they sink at the bottom of the container because they are heavier now, and now they get heated and the whole water gets heated in this process. So if you observe more closely, actually this will not be observable, but if you see, if you think about it, this is what is happening. The particles which are down are going up, then particles which are up are moving down, and this will continuously happen till the whole water attains the same temperature and starts boiling. In the gases also, they the particles of gases, they carry the current, carry the heat energy with them in the same manner, that is in the form of convection currents. So, have you noticed why the air conditioner is placed near the ceiling? Because air conditioner is source of cold air, and cold air is heavier than hot air. That's why cold air comes down, settles down, and hot air takes its place and it rises up. So whenever you are sitting in your room and you on the air conditioner, because you are near the floor, you feel colder, but near the ceiling there is a little bit more heat because that all hot air is has risen up, but then slowly all the hot air is converted into cold air and the room becomes cooler. You might have seen in some big houses, maybe in your village or something, uh, there are windows near the top, above the near the ceiling. So those are for ventilation. What is ventilation? The cold air comes in through the your windows, and the hot air which rises up, it goes out through the ventilator. Okay, so ventilators are basically to remove the hot air out of the room, and that is due to the convection current, and which can be explained very easily on the basis of kinetic model, right? So that was the first part of the chapter. So I've done this first part in 2 videos. You might have observed that the first video which I posted was a little different. I did it from a different book which had exactly the same content but much more in depth. But there are some topics which might not be covered like there are in your book. That is number 1, the definition of element. Element is defined as the substance which cannot be subdivided into 2 or more simpler substances. For example, oxygen, hydrogen, these are elements. All elements are made up of same kind of atoms. What is atom? Atom is defined as the smallest unit of element which may or may not have an independent existence but always takes part in chemical reaction. Then a molecule. Molecule is defined as the smallest unit of matter which has independent existence and can retain complete physical and chemical properties of the matter. For example, water molecule, hydrogen molecule, oxygen molecule. So these are molecules. Atoms are the smallest particles of molecules, smaller than molecules. Okay, they cannot exist on their own, but molecules can exist on their own. Okay, then all the other things which are taught over here was taught in the previous video. Today I taught surface tension, meniscus, and liquid pressure, gas pressure, conduction of heat, convection of heat on the basis of kinetic theory of matter, kinetic model of matter, whatever you call it is the same thing. And your homework is this exercise 1.1. Now it is a good amount of homework. So okay, so you take a couple of days to finish this homework, and the next video will be interconversion of matter. Okay, so this will be a long video, interconversion of matter, and then your chapter will be finished, and then you will have to do the final I think you have exercise 1.2 and one theme assignment after that. Yeah, like this. So this everything will be done after the next video. But today, for today's homework, we have just exercise 1.1. And I'm going to give you this exercise through the app. Okay, so I hope that you all have logged into the app. So you will get this homework through the app only. Okay, so log into the app and get the homework, and you can submit the homework to me when you are done uh, by personally whatsapping by personal sending me the personal WhatsApp, but you have to send me the homework in PDF format. Okay, that I will show you. I will share one video. I will help you out with that. So for now it is just this much. See you in the next video. Bye.